So you have your account and you're familiar with the website. So now it's time to start getting to know your workspace. Head to your My Stuff page and click on the New Project button in the top right of the page. You've just created a project. The very first thing we're going to do is name it. It is very important to always name your stuff so that you know where to find it. For today's purposes, we're going to name it Exploring the Project Environment. Great! Now that that's done, let's get familiar with the rest of the things. The first big thing you should notice is the stage, which is the big white square over here, featuring Scratch the Cat. This stage is where you will see all the results of your coded projects. It puts all of your code in action. Here, you are able to play the games that you create. The stage has a green flag, which you click to run your program, and a red stop sign to stop it.
Now, over to the bottom right of the screen, you'll see Scratch the Cat as the first sprite. In the corner of this sprite collection, you see a little round button with a cat and a plus sign. We're gonna add our first sprite by clicking it. Once you've clicked on it, you'll see a screen pop up letting you choose a character from the various sprites that Scratch offers. Pick whichever one you want and click on it. Automatically, you will be taken back to the workspace where you can see your new added sprite. Perfect! Now, we're gonna pick a name for this sprite. You can leave it as it is or rename it to something of your choosing. Besides the sprite name, you will see two fields, the X and Y. Here, you can manually play around with your sprite's location. The X will move the sprite across the screen horizontally, and the Y will move it vertically. Heading towards the bottom row, you can see an option to show your sprite. If you click the crossed out I button, your sprite will hide, and if you click the I button, it will show. To the right is the size button, which lets you change the size of your sprite. And finally for the sprite, you will see a direction field, which allows you to enter your own value to rotate your sprite in a certain direction. Everything we've mentioned for customizing your sprite, except for changing the name, is able to be changed through code, which we will get into later.
Okay, now for the backdrops. If you go ahead and click on the rectangle directly to the right of the sprite menu, you will select the stage. Here, you customize all of the backgrounds for your program. So we're going to click on that blue button towards the bottom to select a new backdrop to add to our project. Feel free to select anything you like. I will be selecting the Underwater 1 backdrop. Now, the stage has changed to your chosen backdrop. Over to the very left of the screen, you will notice 3 different panels. Currently, we have the code panel selected, which allows us to write code for the stage. The second panel is the backdrops panel. When you click on it, you can see all of the different backdrops. By clicking on each numbered backdrop, you change the stage. You will learn how to do this with code later on as well. The very last panel lets you add sounds. We'll look more into this in a few minutes. Clicking back on your created sprite, we will head to the code panel and the workspace. Here is where you code everything for your sprite. As you can see, there is a variety of different categories. The motion blocks move your sprite. The looks blocks change your sprite's appearance. The sound blocks play sounds. The events blocks start a script, while the control blocks manage when and how your code is run. The sensing blocks detect various changes, such as when a key is pressed and if your sprite is touching a certain color. The operator blocks perform things such as math, getting certain information, and comparing blocks. The variable blocks allow you to create a new variable or a list, which you will learn about in a couple lessons. Finally, the My Blocks panel lets you make your own custom block, which we will also get into in the future.
Awesome! Let's try dragging out our first block, the When Flag Clicked block from the Events category. To it, we will then add the Move 10 Steps block. If you drag this block over and hover near the other block, you can see a little field appear so you can connect them. Great! You've created your first script. Now, let's run it. Click on the green flag at the top of the stage and you'll see your sprite move. Congrats! You've run and created your first script. Now, the most important part which you should never forget when coding is to save your project often. At the very top of the page, you can find a button that says Save Now. Click on it whenever you make changes to your project so you don't lose all of your hard work. Let's click it now to save our first script. Now, to wrap this up, let's take a look at the Costumes panel right next to the Code one. Click on it and you will see the art space for your sprite. Here you can modify it. Also, towards the bottom, if you hover over the costume button, a variety of different options will appear. There are buttons for uploading a costume, generating a surprise costume, painting your own costume, or choosing from the library. Feel free to play around with these. They're pretty similar to the choices offered for creating a new sprite and a new backdrop. Make sure you get to know this, especially how to create your own sprite, because as you learn, you will want to add your own artwork to your games.
Finally, the last panel is the Sounds panel, which is practically identical to the Sounds panel for the backdrops. As you can see, there is a blue button towards the bottom. Let's click on it and choose a sound. Choose your own sound to add to this project. Awesome! Once added, you can play it using the play button on each sound, and additionally, you can edit it. Make sure you play around with this so you know how you can use it better. And this concludes getting to know the workspace. See you in the next lesson.